This is news on WhatsApp Caribbean for Friday, January 9th, 2015. Thanks for joining us. In the headlines, LIAT reduces fuel surcharge on tickets. Sagico moving from Barbados. China to invest $20 billion in Venezuela to help offset effects of oil price slump. And in sports, Barbados prepares for Mungay Round Barbados series. The details to these and other stories up next. The news is coming to you from Caribfire Studios.
Turbo charge. Dirty life. Turbo charge. Boom. The fed start. The place mad. One flash of rum. My head gone. Fall in the fed like raindrops. So when I lead, you follow me. Lord. As I reach the fed, I jump it up. Any girl I hold, I walk it up. Don't come and tell me the party done. Cause I come in here to play bass. Cause right now me, turbo, boom, charge. Right now me, turbo, charge. Right now me, turbo.
In the news, regional airline LIAT on Friday announced that it is reducing the fuel surcharge on tickets. Chief Executive Officer David Evans said, effective January 15th, 2015, the fuel surcharge will be reduced by 50% for all new bookings. LIAT first introduced a fuel surcharge in 2003 in the wake of increasing fuel prices. In 2009, when the prices went down, the company took a decision to remove the fuel surcharge. However, in 2011, LIAT reintroduced the fuel surcharge in response to months of spiraling jet fuel prices. That year alone, the airline spent US $22 million on fuel, or 18% of total cost. The price of both jet fuel and crude oil has been falling recently. Mr. Evans said, being fully aware of the impact of rising fuel prices that it has had on customers, it is only fitting that they benefit from the decreased prices. Sagico's group president, Doddridge Miller, has confirmed that the company has decided to move the parent company of the regional financial services provider out of Barbados, where it has had its head office since 1840. He told the Business Guardian in Trinidad that Sagico would not be moving its basic insurance operations out of Barbados and that Port of Spain was one option for the relocated parent company. The entity that is rated and the corporate structure supporting that will be domiciled in a different location, but nothing else will change, the president said. Speaking from Miami on Tuesday, Miller said that the board has agreed on a recommendation from the management that Sagico Financial Corporation has to re-domicile from Barbados to a jurisdiction that is rated investment grade or higher and where access to capital will be reasonably easy and flexible. Still in news, the number of projects accorded to come on stream this year in Barbados as the government and the tourism ministry aims to see the sector thrive. Speaking during a press briefing yesterday, Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Irene Sandiford Garner, said the sector has experienced some growth and it is projected that with increase in airlift among other initiatives, the industry will see a constant upward trend.
Now the tourism sector has started to improve, with growth being recorded in January and all months of the second quarter, April, May, and June, and then again in October. So we would have had peaks and flows throughout the previous year, but we are now seeing a constant upward trend for the first quarter, the last quarter of 2014 and the first quarter of this year. And the BTMI's preliminary statistics indicate that there was definitely growth in November and December. The United Kingdom, the main source market, recorded an increase in arrivals with growth of 7.9% up to October. Europe also recorded growth in arrivals of 8.3% when compared to October of the previous year. Preliminary results from the BTMI are indicating that during December, there was double-digit growth in the UK, Germany, and Brazil markets, with overall growth for the month of December in Barbados at 16.6%.
In terms of airlift, she disclosed that a number of seats will be added.
Now, a number of new services are projected. I already mentioned Delta out of New York and Atlanta, and the AA Red Eye out of Miami. JetBlue is projected to add a further 9,000 seats out of New York. Air Canada is expected to increase capacity by 41%, or 2,010 seats out of Montreal through the addition of a third weekly service. Capacity out of Toronto is expected to increase by 8%, or 5,015 seats, through the introduction of the B777, as I mentioned earlier, with its 270 seats. Out of the UK, which is our strongest market at present, British Airways is going to add 2 more flights per week, so they're going to bring their total flights to 12. And that increases their capacity by 14%, or 5425 seats. And Condor is adding a third flight per week during the winter, which is going to add 1,700 seats, or 14% of their existing capacity. And Avianca is going to introduce a twice-weekly service out of Bogota, Colombia, in December 2015, adding 200 seats per week from this Latin American hub.
That was Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism in Barbados, Irene Sandiford Garner. China has agreed to invest more than $20 billion in Venezuela to help it overcome an economic slump exacerbated by plummeting oil prices, the Venezuelan president has announced. Nicolas Maduro has been in Beijing since Monday, participating in a major meeting with China and the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC, a coalition of 33 countries that was formed in 2011. He announced the $20 billion deal after meeting with the Chinese president. The Venezuelan president did not give any further details, and it remains unclear whether the sum represents a fresh arrangement or is part of pre-existing oil for loans deals. Beijing has not confirmed Maduro's claim, and even if the investments are new, it is far from certain that this is money that the Venezuelan government can use for imports or debt repayments. That was a look at news. Up next, a look at sports.
The Giant has awakened. On Sunday, January 11th at 8 p.m., the 10th Annual Barbados Music Awards, hosted by Hollywood megastar Boris Kojo. And from right here in beautiful Barbados, it's your boy Kurt Brown. It's going down at the Lloyd Erskine Stanford Center, featuring performances by the Road March Kings, led by Ben Saddis, Sweet Soca Monarch, Biggie Irie, Party Monarch winner, Gord, Biggity Crop Monarch, Ian Webster. Also featuring Donella, Dwayne Antonio, Lorianne, Gospel Songbird, Nisha Woods, Mr. Dale, and a galaxy of Barbadian megastars, with headline act American R&B legend herself and one of the greatest singers of all time, Shirley Murdoch. Early bird tickets at $50 Barbados dollars general and $125 VIP. Now available at Rubis Service Station Wilding and Digital Plus, Lanterns Mall and Colonnade Mall while stocks last. This is the event you do not want to miss. Event sponsored by the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Prestige Public Relations, Bruto Group, Starcom Network, Atlantis Submarine, Sonia Noel, the Caribbean Media Corporation, and Gold Coast Records Incorporated. The Barbados Music Awards is back. Be there.
In sports, just 1 week before the start of the 2050 Mungay Round Barbados Race Series and more than 30 entries, a total of 325 competitors have already shown interest and registered. Organized by Barbados Cruising Club in association with the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc. and Mungay, this event, which is now in its 79th year, promises to be one of the best yet, with over 50 yachts expected to take part, including over 20 overseas entries. Peter Gills, consultant to the Barbados Tourism Authority, updated the media of the event during a press briefing yesterday.
We expect at the end of the sign-in for the Round the Island race, we will probably have about 50 to 55 boats. Typically, you could average each boat carrying a crew of about 10 minimum. We have a yacht, Elena, has come in. She's 55 meters. She will probably sail with between 70 and 80 people on board. We have secured for 2016 the GP14 Worlds, an event that we have 2 Barbadians who have won gold medals in the GP14 class in Cornwall, Ontario in 1967. We are hosting that next year. We have also secured for 2017 the Finn Masters Worlds, also as a back-to-back event for 2017. We recently, 26th of December, received news from Melbourne, Australia, where the OK class was having their Worlds.
That was consultant to the Barbados Tourism Authority, Peter Gilks. Still in sports, this year's Nadrico's Super 50 tournament opens next Thursday in Trinidad and Tobago. Leeward Islands Hurricanes are a 7-time winner of the region's premier 50 overs-a-side tournament, including 3 shared titles, and will be looking to recapture past glories. The Hurricanes have endured a lean period in regional competitions over the last decade, and they have been working very hard to try to rebuild their side, which has produced 4 legendary West Indies knights: Sir Vivian Richards, Sir Andy Roberts, Sir Richie Richardson, and Sir Curtly Ambrose in the past. Hurricanes head coach Ridley Jacobs, a former captain and West Indies batsman, spoke to the WICB media about his side's chances.
We've been training quite hard. We actually think it's at this present moment, preparing for this tournament, particular one-day tournament. So hopefully, the guys really put it together and give a very good showing of themselves. In the last 50 over tournament, we didn't bat it well, and we didn't bowl the ball particularly well in the right areas. So I'm hoping that all these areas that we can improve in, and if we do that, then definitely we'll have a much better performance than we had last year.
That was Hurricanes head coach Ridley Jacobs. Finally in sports, Muhammad Ali is home after being hospitalized with severe urinary tract infection. The 3-time world heavyweight boxing champion was released from an undisclosed hospital this week, according to family spokesman Bob Gunnell. Ali is back home and looking forward to celebrating his 73rd birthday on January 17th with his family and friends, Gunnell said.